Namaste, and welcome to our continuing series, Interviews with Disciples and Devotees. Today we are very happy to have with us Padma. Namaste. The first question I always ask everyone, Padma, is how they first heard about Mother and Sri Aurobindo. Can you tell us?
Yes. I first heard from my father, a devotee from Aurobindo Ashram, Narayana Reddy. He used to come to our house and talk about Mother and Sri Aurobindo. That's how I came to know.
And how old were you then when you came to know?
I was 12-year-old. And then I was doing my +2. I was just finishing my high school. At that time, I took French as my second language. And I was in a nuns' college, Mary Stella, so the Catholics convent
Yes.
school. And
Where was that?
that was in Vijayawada, in Andhra Pradesh. The principal was from Ireland, so she said she would teach me French as it was my second language.
Oh,
And she was to go back to Ireland, and I was just in the middle. So there was nobody to teach French. So then my father said, I'll take you to Pondicherry. You can learn French there.
oh,
That's how he brought me to Pondicherry
at the age of 12.
at the age of 12 and a half, 13.
Yes.
Then I came to Pondi with my father. First went to Narayan Reddy's house, the devotee, and we stayed for a day, and we went to the school. The school authority said, we can't take you because you're
too old.
too old.
Yes,
And
yes.
then my father said, what do we do? So we stayed for a day and we went outside ashram schools. And I said, we are not happy to be there. Then we were at the library near the beach and we were just flipping through the pages. And somebody just in front of me asked me, how are you here? Then my father said, yeah, this is my daughter. I've brought her to learn French here. And there's the ashram school says no, so we don't know what to do. Probably we have to go back. Then he said, did you go to lake? We said, we don't know where it is. Then he said, there's local transport. You just ask Usteri, and it's just near Usteri. That's Pal Diary, he said. So we didn't know much of Tamil. So then we took the bus and we went to lake. Then Sailendra Roy, he was taught French by mother. So he was at Lake Estate, at Louis Farm. Then
At Louis' farm?
yes, in Lake Estate,
Yes,
Alan.
I knew Louis very well.
Yes,
Louis Allen.
yeah, Alan Louis. He was managing all the farm in the lake.
Yes.
So we went there, and Sailendraji was teaching the small students around 10:30, 11 in the morning. So we did namaste, and I said, I would like to learn French. He was so excited and happy, and he said, well, I would teach you French. But where would you stay? So then after a pause, then he said, there's a gentleman, I'm a devotee, an ardent devotee of Mother who is living here, Shantibhai, next to the Louis bungalow near the
I
farm.
believe Shanti is now in Oroville. If that's the Shanti. Small
No,
man?
Shantibhai Lal Virani, he's no more.
Oh, okay.
And he was living in that bungalow. He said, we can go and ask him, if he permits you to stay there, I can teach you French. So we went there around 11:45. Generally, he doesn't come down at that time. So he only comes for lunch, and he's always doing meditation upstairs. That Amma who is preparing food for him, She heard the pebbles sound because there are a lot of pebbles in front of the house. So we were walking, so she could sense somebody is coming. She came out and said, Amma, Appa, Ayai Puvarla. So he will not come down right
Yeah.
now. So then we asked her, what time can we see him? Theriyadu eppu varam. We don't know what time he comes down, so you just try your luck, maybe after some time. So we just took a turn back, few steps, and Shantibhai came on the balcony upstairs and he said, yes, yes. So then Sailendraji told him that this girl, small girl, had come to learn French, and I said okay to her, but we would like to speak to her with you regarding her stay. He said, come, 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 come. So he called us, and not only downstairs, upstairs nobody is allowed to go. And he said, come up. So we went and we sat down, and he said, yeah, tell me. Then Selendra told that, this girl wants to learn French, and she would like to, she doesn't have a place to stay. So if you could kindly allow her to stay, then she can learn. Otherwise, they have to go back, and this is the father. Then Shantibhai just closed his eyes for 2 minutes. Then he turned towards me and he said, would you like to stay here? Oh, the amount of happiness that we had. Then I said, Mother, you are really a divine mother. You solved my problem. Because the previous night when I was going to bed, I said, everybody calls you divine mother, but I don't know about you. And if you are so, then my problem should be solved. As a little girl, I was testing her. I was asking her, and see how she granted immediately. And Shantibhai said, you can stay here. He took us down and see which room you want. You want this room or this room? And so her grace.
What year was this, Padma?
This was in 1973.
Did you see Mother?
Well, she stopped giving darshans at that time.
But there was August balcony darshan, terrace darshan. Mother gave in August.
No, I was in the hostel, so they didn't allow me at that time in Vijayawada. So, but when I came, she wasn't generally giving darshans. So I went back, and after learning French, after a few months, then I went back, and I was just having my food in November 18th evening, and I heard the news. I immediately left the food, and I'm not supposed to go out of the hostel without any permission from them. So I was just praying, I have to go to my mother. How would I go? They're not allowing me. I somehow managed to reach the main gate, and I lost my mother. I can't wait for the permission. Please let me go. And I left the place. Then I took a train from Vijayawada to Chennai. I had only that much money. And in the station, when the train stops at Ongole, where I hail from, my parents live there, I just left a note. I don't even know. I just thought this man will give. I just told the address of my parents. I said, I'm going to Pondicherry. Then when I reached Chennai, I have no money to reach Pondicherry. So I asked the people in Tamil, because I didn't know much of Tamil. So they showed me the bus stand, Paris bus stand it is called. I reached there, and I asked that bus driver, the ticket collector, I have no money, and I lost my mother. I have to go. I was weeping. And the TC said, no, I can't take you, Amma, because you have no money. I have to take the permission. Then he took the permission from the driver that this girl is crying, she has no money, and she lost the mother, she has to reach Pondicherry. So the driver thought for 2 minutes, and he said, okay. And I told him, when I go back, I will give you the money. but right now I don't have money. So they said yes, and that's how I reached Pondi.
What time
to
did
the
you
sem-
reach?
I reached around, must be 12:31 in the afternoon. It's just finished. All the flowers are kept and samadhi.
On the 18th, huh? On the
19th.
19th.
Yeah. I could reach only on 19th because 18th evening I heard, and then I caught the train
Yeah,
at night, reached Madras in the morning, then took one or two buses, said no. So then the
So
third,
you did not see Mother's body.
yeah,
It was already put in the samadhi.
yes.
So now tell us next phase of your life.
Yes, and then came back to Lake. Then my mother came behind, physical mother, to look for me. Where am I and all that. Then I told her I'm not going to come. I'm going to stay here only. So I was here for a few months. Then my father pleaded that you have at least come and finish your education, and then you can decide if you want to go back to Pondicherry. So then I asked Shantibhai, what should I do? He said, no, you finish your exam. Your father was writing letters after letters, so I think you should go give the exam and come back. Then maybe later in life, you may not think that, I could have finished my education or whatever. It was just +2, that's 12th class. So then I went back, gave my exams, then came back to Pondi. And then I told my father, you asked me for the exam, I've given my exam. Now I'm going back. So then I came back and stayed in Pondicherry, and I used to help. I wanted to become a doctor since childhood, so I used to help in Nupanda's dispensary, just opposite to Samadhi. And he used to take me, assist him in the surgery.
Nipendra?
Yes.
Oh.
So I used to assist him and do whatever and learn from him. Then in the afternoons, I used to come to Samadhi and enjoy the music from the school. I used to, somebody used to play the piano at that time in the afternoons. So I used to come and spend time. That was the time, whatever little money I used to have, I used to buy the books of Mother and Sri Aurobindo, read them. And one day, it was Her Grace, one day, Joshi, he saw me at the Samadhi and he says, this girl comes every day at this time. What's your name? I said, Padma. Just a minute, he said. He went inside and Mother wrote, maybe she knows she knows. And she has written 2 Padma blessings, a beautiful envelope. And in that there were flowers. And he said, this is for you. That was a wonderful feeling. I can't explain the happiness. And
How old were you at this time?
I was 15.
15. Mm-hmm.
So then I stayed there for a while. And then again, the letters after letters from my father that you have to become a doctor. Since you want to become a doctor, so please come, finish your education. Again, the same thing. Then you can decide if you want to be in Pondicherry. Then he wrote to Shantibhai also, please tell her. So after 2-3 months, I was here for a good 8-9 months. I didn't want to go back. And my father was pleading, and he came here for me, and he stayed also for 3-4 months working here. And then trying to tell me, if you love this place and if you want to be here, I'm not going to say no, but please finish your education. Then Shantibhai also said that your father was asking you only for another 3-4 years to finish your education. You become proper doctor and then you come and serve here. And so that's how I have to go back and finish my doctor's course. And then come back here. And during that course of time, when I was in Lake, another beautiful experience I had was we were in the evening. I used to always wait for him because he doesn't come out usually. Only for when I started living there, he used to come in the evening at 4:30 for a cup of tea. And that's the time he used to explain various philosophies and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, the little book, The Parables of Ramakrishna. He said, you read this book. And he gave me the first book, The Mother, to read. And that's like my Ramayana or Mahabharata or whatever. And that's wonderful. I still remember the words that Mother expresses. When the grace and protection of the Mother are with you, what is there that can touch you, or whom need you fear? I would always remember those lines wherever I go and whatever I do.
So now you are a doctor,
Yes,
and you are a doctor at age 20, maybe?
21, yes.
21.
Yeah.
And you've come back to the ashram.
Yes.
Still staying at Lake?
No. After that, Shantibhai shifted to Pondicherry for his health reasons. And I was here for few months. Again, I have to go back. And, my husband, he's Rakesh now, and he came when I was doing my medicine. There was a common guardian, and he used to always say, we would like to keep here. And then I said, no, I have to go back to Pondicherry. I just came here for my education. But he had a wish that he should marry me. And he asked me. Then I said, if he has those intentions, then he should not meet me. I'm not here for that reason. So for 6 months, I never met him. I haven't, and I told the guardian also, please tell him not to meet me and all that. But after 6-7 months, in the morning around 4 o'clock, I could see a vision. Like I totally forgot him for these 6 months, not in my mind at all. Mother was sitting like in the playground. She wears those dress and sits on the chair like this.
And the Japanese slippers.
Yes. And she was offering flowers to him.
Oh.
I saw that vision. And then that's the time I said maybe she wants him in her atmosphere or in her arms. So then that's how I told him, okay, like if the parents agree, then probably then we get married. And the parents also didn't say anything, no or anything. They just said, you finish your education and then get married. It was like a miracle, because the opposition could be, because I'm from Andhra, he's from Punjab. So there could be a lot of problem, but nothing happened with her. Great, because she wanted him in her. And then we got married. For 3 years I've been serving, but I've been coming here and going every 6 months. At least I have to stay here for a month and go back. And one day I took him first time to the Samadhi, and Champaklalji was there giving darshan at that time in Mother's room. And Dimanbhai said, yes, Padma has come, because they used to love me, like me, lot of affection as a child. And Champaklalji said, granted the permission to have darshan in Mother's room. So I took him also, and I've written at that time. Champaklalji is a Maun Vrat, not speaking to anyone. He just writes. So I wrote him. I was weeping. I said, I want to be here. I don't know what's happening. And how do you think? And we both can live here. Please show me the way and tell me what do I do. And I was weeping. He went inside. This much bunch of blessings of Mother, he got one after the other. And he gave me, and he said, just wait. Then I wept. And he said, wait for the time.
Wait for the
time
being, yes.
and her blessings are always with you. He's written that, and he gave me this much and blessed me. So that's how then I have to go back again and did the practice, doing a lot of service to people there as doctors.
So you did practice in Andhra?
In Delhi.
In Delhi?
We were in Ludhiana in Punjab for some time. And there are a lot of devotees. Ramakrishna Jain used to be very old. In 1940s he came here. So he used to be there from Ludhiana. So I used to feel at home. And Shripal Oswal, he's also a devotee of Mother in Ludhiana. So I was there for a few years, then shifted to Delhi because of the Punjab problem and all. And at that time also, we used to visit Pondicherry and take blessings from her and go back. Then as usual, my in-law started saying, you must have children, you must have children. So, but I gave deaf ear to them. I said, this is not my job. Whatever happens, it should happen with her grace and will. If her will is there, it will happen.
Yes.
So one day, I had a beautiful expression. After 3-4 years of our marriage, 3 years, I think, I had a beautiful vision, like Mother was blessing and Lord Shiva was behind. And a 3-year-old daughter, a girl, was walking towards me, and Mother is blessing. So I didn't understand at that time, but there is something which she is wanting to happen. And that's how Meera was born. And at that time I was praying that she should be, on the same date as Mother's birthday. But it happened in August. So I came to know the doctor said it will happen in the second week of August. Then I was pleading, then it should happen on Sri Aurobindo's birthday. So in my 9th month, when I'm supposed to, maybe another few days to deliver, then Sri Aurobindo beautifully telling me like this, what if it happens a week later? It doesn't matter. He said that to me, and she was born on 20th August. And I didn't think of any other name except Meera. And I did ask here, Shantibhai, can I give these names to my children, to my child? It's all powerful. This is the message I got. So then I didn't think of anything except calling her Meera. And same happened with my son, Aurobindo. After 3.5 years, the same vision, and I could see the Aurobindo. He was born after 3.5 years. Then we have given him name Aurobindo. So beautiful.
Now, how old are you at this point after your son is born?
I was probably 28.
Okay.
29, I think.
And then your life from that point on. Tell us about that.
Then we came to, when they became 3-year-old, I want to put them in ashram school and come back and stay here. So I tried all my level best, but there were so many prior, they're all booked for devotees' children. So another 3-4 years, they said it can't happen. So then Chitra Didi, she has a farm in Lake Isse. She knows me very well. Then I met her. I said, then go to Delhi. Tara Didi is having Mothers International School. She's running that school in Delhi. So you can put your children there. It is almost the same lines as ashram school is, like especially Mirambika and the nursery school, which I wanted that they should. So then I went back to Delhi, especially to put the children in that school. I shifted from Ludhiana to Delhi then, and I put both Meera and Aurobindo in that school. Fortunate to have them, and beautiful experiences there too. When Aurobindo used to be in the nursery, sometimes he never used to write anything. So the teacher comes and tells me, today Aurobindo is Sri Aurobindo. He's in meditative mood. He did not write anything on the paper during exam. So there are no exams there. They just try to know what he knows. Shika, she's also a devotee, the teacher. She said, don't worry, Dr. Padma. He would write tomorrow. I'll try and take exam tomorrow when he is physically there. So they studied, they finished their education in the Mothers International School. And then they went to England. They got admission in various universities in US, but I never wanted. I said, Sri Aurobindo did his education and everything in England. So, and also it is nearer to India. And being Sri Aurobindo there, so I wanted that both the children should study in England. So Mira got admission in one of the best universities for engineering, and Aurobindo got admission in a very good university where economics and maths honors. So they both were educated there, and Mira continued working there. Aurobindo did for some time there and in US, and then he said, no, enough, now I want to go back to Pondicherry. So he came here, and he was in Savitri Bhavan for 1 year. He left the job and he didn't tell me. And he said, don't talk to me, and I'm not going to talk to you. Till I talk to you, please don't contact me either. That was his condition. And he left the job and he came to Savitri Bhavan in Oroville, and he was volunteering there. And in Savitri Bhavan, he did the digitalization of Savitri, I mean, that computer section. He was working there for 1 year, and he had his own journey during that year. No touch. He never spoke to us. We never spoke to him. No touch at all, no contact at all. And he said only one thing to me. When you went, when you were 13, did you listen to your parents? That when they said you don't go, you were still there, so you can't stop me. So I have no answer, and rather I did not force him. So he was here, and one day, after a year, one fine day he came and he said, now I know.
Yeah.
And he wants to do something because, you have to pay to work in Oroville. So he said, I would like to do something at the same time to be here. So we were coming, going. Finally, we have decided now to be back here in Pondicherry.
And how did you first hear about Oroville?
Well, when I was in Lake, I saw it growing. People were plowing the land and blood was shed, and there used to be a small kitchen where everybody used to go and eat food. So I used to visit.
I was in that kitchen.
Yes. I used to visit on and off Oroville, and when I see them working in the land in scorching sun and plowing the land, and it was bleeding, they really worked hard. What's Oroville today, when I remember those days?
You remember what it was, like a
Yes.
desert.
Yes, absolutely. It was a wonderful work, very hard work put in. What is today, it's unimaginable what it was.
You were going to tell me something about your experiences with Mother, some more.
Yes. One thing I can say, I wanted to see her physically. That was all the time in my prayer. And I used to feel bad. I couldn't see you. I couldn't see you. And I was telling Shantibhai one day, and I was weeping. I was crying. Yeah, I don't know. I was here. I could have here just a year before she left her body. So I said, I could have seen. And he says, you know what? You got a call, otherwise, you would never be here. And don't you see that whenever you asked her, she granted. You wanted to be here and see how you were here. You wanted to learn French. And she taught Selenda French, and he was teaching you French. So he used to always say that, no, you're blessed. Don't worry. But still, that pain was there in me
That you hadn't seen
that
her.
I haven't seen her physically.
Yeah.
One day in the evenings, whenever we used to have, the various discussions about uh, spirituality and about Mother and Sri Aurobindo, he used to always tell me, as a child, trying to put all in one. So that's the time we generally sit and have a cup of tea, and he used to tell me. So one day, suddenly, he said, you want to see Mother? I said, yes. All right. Just wait for uh, 15, 20 minutes, and somebody's going to come here. And I was thrilled, And I was just trying to arrange the table. He said they're going to have something here, something to eat and a cup of tea, and I was just arranging. And after that, the guests have not arrived. He was saying somebody's going to come. And after arranging everything, I was just taking a walk, just waiting for them, to come, and I would receive them. I saw from a distance Vasudhaben, who used to comb her hair, mother's hair, and you be with it.
Vasudha, yes. My little child, mother called her.
Yes.
Yes.
She used to comb her hair and keep all small little soaps and everything. So I saw her from a distance, and she was wearing the same dress, that long white gown and with a tight pajama and all. She was walking towards us. And I felt as if Mother was coming here. I could see absolutely Mother in her. The face, the dress, everything. For a minute I was saying, oh, Mother is coming. And I ran to Shantibhai, oh, she's coming. And he said, you know who is she? Then he explained to me, you. Then we received her, and she sat in the chair, and she immediately shook my hand and she kissed me. And what a lovely child. I still remember the words she said. What a lovely child. And she kissed me. And Shantibhai immediately turned towards me and smiled and said, well, have you seen? Mother received you. And that was a wonderful experience I had. And during my first few days when I landed up in Pondicherry and when I had problems, I used to always say, oh, you're Divine Mother, so you must do this for me. It's like a fight. And immediately she would answer and she would give me. So I used to always, Shantibhai used to always say that you always fight with her and she grants you whatever you want. And here we are. We do meditation for years and we still have to hear something from her. And he used to always say that you had a call. And I'm grateful, and her grace on the children as well as on the whole family.
So, tell me a little bit more about your life, your family here now.
Well, we are seriously planning to come back here, and Meera maybe for few years, after few years, and Aurobindo wants to be here, and we're trying to see for a place and work for Mother and Shrivando
Where are you living now?
in Oroville, in
In
Savitri
Oroville.
Bhavan.
In Savitri Bhavan.
Yes. And yeah, the way you were giving discourse on peace, harmony, and unity, these are the three sentences you said that we pray for that, and that's how we have a complete harmony and peace and unity, what Sri Aurobindo and Mother said. And that would help us, help everyone in Oroville and everywhere.
Yes.
That's what is needed. It's the need of the hour. That's a wonderful meaning which you were giving to all of us. It's a wonderful thing from you.
So, how long have you been at Savitri Bhavan?
We're here for about 8 days.
And you're staying in the hostel?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I have stayed there also. For
Yes. We
many
met you
months.
last time on the August 15th.
That's
Sri
right.
Aurobindo's
That's right.
centenary
Yes, exactly.
celebrations.
So,
It's wonderful.
can you tell me more about your feeling about Oroville?
Again, I would say peace, harmony, and unity. If these three things, what Sri Aurobindo had been saying and telling us, if these things are followed by all of us in the community, it would be wonderful. And I feel strongly that will happen. With our prayers and meditations, Mother's energy and her divine force will work upon everyone, and that will happen.
Anything else you would like to share about your family or your children?
Well, Her Grace and Sri Aurobindo and Mother, their blessings on them or on our family also. And that would help us endure all the obstacles and difficulties. But I'm sure her grace is always, and her blessings are always there for us. So I'm very positive that we would be very happily living in Pondi or Oroville, wherever we are. And at this end of life, I would love to spend all my time in serving them and in remembering Mother and Sri Aurobindo.
Thank you, Padma.
Thank you.
Namaste all. Namaste.